Guys, I wanted to make this video in order to explain contact on a field goal. I got tons and tons and tons of questions about how do I make contact on a field goal, and this is going to explain that in a little bit more depth. So I'll make a video on the field about this, but just going back on some of my previous videos that I posted, I could explain really, really simply right now, just is what I mean a lot of the time. So first things first, in order to get more power and more height on the ball and more accuracy, contact is going to take at least 70 to 80% of that role. So there's three different places that you can hit the ball, at least in my opinion. You can hit it on the dead center or dead seam, which is like up and down on the ball. You can hit the left panel or you can hit the right panel. And so what I mean by middle of the seam is that little part of the ball that conjoins both sides of the leather. Now, the left panel, if you hit that, like a lot of guys do, I did it in this video a few times, that's going to mean that it sprays off to the side that or the opposite side of your kicking leg. So if I'm a left-footed kicker and I hit the left panel, the ball is going to 9 times out of 10 spray off to the right, unless I'm Harry Houdini or some magical wizard, like Harry Potter. Then it's really not possible to hit it straight. If you're hitting it around the outside of the ball, it will not allow you to hit it straight. Now, at the same token, a lot of guys say that they want to hit the seam of the ball, like the dead center. The issue is it's not a clean contact spot. So when you hit it there, you're going to spray the ball off either or. It's the same thing on punting. Like, you don't want to hit the seam of the football because it's not a clean surface. The big thing here is it's not black and white. Like, you have to hit the dead center to hit the best part of the field goal. It's a little counterintuitive. You actually want to hit off to the right side of the panel if you're a lefty, and then off to the left side if you're a righty. So the panel is going to give you that smooth surface, and then if you hit that part, naturally your foot will form to the ball, and the ball will form to your foot, and it will explode off and shoot to the portion of the target that you want it to go to. So what I mean by that is if you're hitting way over here and anything is wrong in your technique, you will immediately know that. If you hit the middle, same thing. It can cause that like X rotation where the ball has a bit of a weird flutter to it. And then if you hit the right side of the ball, if you're a lefty, not like, way over here, but if you hit in between the middle and the right side of the ball, then you're going to allow yourself to hit the prime spot of the football. It's actually it's interesting how it works, but I promise you, if you were to go out on the field and kick on your own, hit that part rather than the dead center, and you're going to see a huge jump in your contact. So we'll break it down real quick. I'm going to go ahead and move this to a very slow speed and watch my foot. All right, so check out me making contact. As soon as I swing, my foot is actually a little bit to the side of the football. My laces and the part of my foot that I want to hit, which is that big bone called the navicular bone or metatarsal, either or, that's the second shoelace on your cleat. You want that to be making contact with the inside panel. Not the seam, not the outside panel, but the inside panel. All right, and if you do everything right, just by hitting that alone, you can have a lot of other inefficiencies in your swing, but if you hit that part, the ball is going to jump off your foot, no question, like guaranteed. However, if you hit around the football, like some guys, and you have the inefficiencies that some do, that's where you really see some tough habits that you have to break. Okay, so really good contact can fix a lot of good things, but that doesn't good contact can fix a lot of bad things, but that's not to say that you should just be focusing only on contact. Like, that should be a focus, but the point is to make sure your technique and form is in line so that if you hit the ball bad, whether it's your fault or not, because let's be fair, every kick is technically your responsibility to make. But if there's ever a situation where you do miss, it needs to be a circumstance that you did everything right on your end. It was just a matter of, who knows, the weather uh, threw the ball in a whirlwind, like that one kicker who kicked a field goal and the wind just stopped it standstill, which I would throw a hissy fit if I saw that. But nonetheless, I think it's important to know that every kick you have is your responsibility to make. Okay. Now, after this one, we'll go to another kick that I had, and we'll show you what I mean by hitting the outside of the ball. So you hit it clean, you swing straight, your body's in the right position. It takes off both high and far. So that's ideal. All right. So we're going to cut to another kick that I had later in the session where I did a lot of things right. However, I did swing around it a little bit. So I don't know if you saw the flutter on the ball. It did have a little bit of an X ball to it. That's what we call. And check my toe and my foot where it is the second I make contact. It's not going to be on the right side of the ball. It'll actually be a little bit more on the left side. Yeah, tough to see, and my pausing skills aren't great, but we'll do it one more time. And you can see how my foot is actually wrapping around the ball. You can see how my toe and a lot of my foot is taking up a majority of the left side of the ball. However, everything else is great. My hips are pointed where I want them to go. My chest is tall. My core is engaged. I've got a nice lean away from the ball. I'm not too linear. Got a good wide plant. Like, a lot of good things are working in my favor. And I did happen to point my toe as I made contact, or not even point my toe, but my toe wrapped around the football, almost as if I was trying to hit a upper 90 shot in soccer. But again, my technique was there, so that even though that I did the contact wrong and I did that part not as successfully as I normally would, because of the fact that everything else was there, I still made the kick. It was a X ball, like a weird flutter, dinged off the upright. These are pointed around. So this is an extra 5 yards. I think this is a 40-yarder, so this is a 45-yarder. But yeah, definitely would make it on standard post because it was substantially farther away. So this is technically, again, a 45. But yeah, like I was saying, if you do everything right, but just so happen to catch the outside of the ball, you can get away with it because of the fact that everything else is there. So hopefully this video helped you guys. I really, really love making this stuff. But again, if you have any questions or comments, what I could make another video on or something, let me know. I would be happy to do that. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It does help me out tremendously. I'm super excited to continue posting this type of content. But if you guys aren't already, please check out the ebook that's going to come out later this year. I've got some really, really awesome stuff that's coming in that direction. Matt Amendola and Nick Novak are some contributors. We've got Ali Mortada and quite a few others. I don't want to spoil the whole list, but some NFL veterans have been there for kicking for 10 plus years, and some Australian punters. Like, we've got a wide variety of content and professional kickers that have contributed, but it's not just that.